Alright, what is up? Welcome back to another video, and now that we got that little duster done at the shop, can't remember if I ended up putting it at the beginning of this video or made it its own video. Either way, you guys will know, and I'll probably know when I edit it, but whatever. Anyway, we are ready to get started on the Beetle. Now, in a previous video, I mentioned that I got these spindles all rebuilt with fresh shims and all that good stuff. So they are ready to be set up and put on the car. So I believe I got everything ready for the front brakes. I just need to clean the backing plates up. We got brand new shoes. I think the original hardware is in good shape. Soft lines, wheel bearings, all that good stuff. And we are doing a roller wheel bearing conversion, like tapered style. We're getting rid of those original ball bearings, which obviously we'll touch base on that when we're ready for it. But first and foremost, this car is going to need new tires. And the other ones are good for rollers, but not even good. I wouldn't even consider them good enough to go around the block. Well, maybe, but no sense in it. We're going to be driving it, so we need new tires. So, you guys remember, I scored this thing. So, I'm going to kind of clean this stuff up here and be ready to set up the tire changer and hopefully buzz these old tires off the Beetle wheels. So we're going to go get those wheels out, bring them over, and get this thing all kind of scooched out and clean up everything around it and hopefully buzz some tires off. So it's going to be pretty neat. So we'll take you guys along for it. My first time. I mean, obviously I've done this a bajillion times, but first time using my machine. So anyway, I'm going to grab those tires and we'll get back in when we're cleaning up and starting on this. Alright, I've got these freaking turds over here. So as you can tell, these things are pretty bad. There's one, no, never mind. That one's even a little bias play. So anyway, got this thing cleared off. So we're ready to scooch her out a little bit. And we'll get her hooked up. And maybe do a quick video doing like one tire or something like that. And then I'll hit you guys with the old classic time lapse and get this stuff done. But what I was also talking about, or I might mention it in the old video when I picked this thing up, but these little knurls that grip the inside or barrel of the wheel, this side's kind of wore off, so might have to weld a couple tacks on here. And my buddy that had this said he had to do that a couple different times over the years that he's used it, but other than that it works great. So I may have to do that real quick, but other than that we're just about ready. Alright, we got air, we got power. So let's see what we got here. Oh, that's for the shovel. Oh, that's the spinner. That's for the clamp. Oh, that's pretty cool. Damn, that's pretty trick actually. Alright, let's see here. Let's see if we can make this go back in and stay. Alright, well, set you guys up and take you along for the first shot here. I didn't dismantle any yet, so we're just going to do this together. See if I can screw something up. I don't know. Never used this machine before, so we are about to find out if I can find my tripod. We'll get back with you in a second. Okay, trans aim's back in. Wheels and tires are dismounted. There's the wheels. Tires are going to be ready for scrap. Those things fought me. Probably the worst set of wheels I've ever had to or tires I've ever had to dismount. Awful. And I've done a lot. And those sucked. I mean, I even did the Goodyears that were on the Trans Am that had been sitting on there for 25 years or so. And them things even broke loose and come right off. And those things were a bear. And the radials were worse than the bi-sply. I thought it was going to be the other way around. But anyway, that being said, we'll be ready to sandblast those wheels in the future, put new valve stems in them, self-etch them, prime them, paint them to the correct Bahama blue outers with black inners. But that's for the future. As of now, we're ready to get on that front end, start getting it back together as far as the spindles go. I'll walk you guys through on how you set those up, pretty simple. And then we'll be getting the front brakes cleaned up, reassembled, and also the old races knocked out for the ball bearings and get the races popped in for the new tapered roller bearings. So anyway, this is enough for tonight. We'll pick up on this thing in a couple days, and we will go from there. All right, we are back out here on the 65 Beetle, and did like a couple things off camera. I was cleaning up a couple of the backing plates, nothing too important, just getting all the old grease and grime off of them. Now that we're back up here on the front end, we got the original tie rod ends, which are all shot, so I'm going to get new tie rod ends, so the tubes are pretty much ready to, I'm leaving them all assembled like that, so I know I can get this thing back to semi-decent alignment before I align it. So then we'll pretty much have a good baseline to start from. Anyway, until I get new ones, we're not going to worry about that. But something I had mentioned, I think in the previous clip, is this still has the roller bearings, which are not good. They're extremely dangerous. As you can tell, the races are set up for the ball style bearings, and we got the new style tapered race, not sealed, but roller bearing style, sorry. So now we are ready to knock these races out, and then we'll be able to install those new races in these drums. So set you guys up on a little time lapse here and knock these things out. Got all 4 races knocked out, so both front drums are done. They're ready to be cleaned up. So I'll probably go ahead and throw those things in the parts washer, get the grease out of this one. I already did that drum, so we'll get the all the old grease out of this one, scrap that, those stupid ball bearing races, and we'll be ready to throw the new races in it next, which kind of running out of time tonight since it's after work, so may end up getting to that tomorrow, but either way, we'll be ready to clean these up and pop them new races in. So, and also, if you guys are interested in doing this on your Beetles, I highly suggest it. You can literally just get on some of the popular Volkswagen sites like Apple Tree Auto. I think they're out of Michigan. Pretty sure CIP1 carries them, and I think Wolfsburg West might, but I think I went through Apple Tree. And 65 was the first year for a brake change. Pretty much the stuff from like 56 to 64 was about the same. Now you VW guys that are anal about changes, there are slight things in there, but as far as like this stuff goes, it was fairly similar. And then 65, like this car, was the first year for some brake changes. So basically just searched I needed wheel bearings for a 65. You can get the right races and bearings and be able to swap them out and not have those ball bearing style that want to explode on you. So okay, got a pause music real quick so we don't get copyrighted. So, got a little time lapse going while I'm filming on the GoPro. So we're finally over here getting these brand new Spindle, well, they're the original Spindles, but freshly rebuilt units ready to go. So, we're going to do a quick little how-to, we're not going to get too invasive here on it because this is information that's, you know, readily available out there. I always love to get my little book out, which is this guy here. And so this thing, we're going to actually check the offset of the control arms. So if you guys look at that picture there, which here's your lower control arm and upper control arm, and you're essentially measuring that offset of how much further this lower sticks out than the top. And why you're doing that is because these are kingpin link pin spindles. A lot of you guys might know that from like big truck stuff or even older car. Volkswagen carried the kingpin link pin stuff all the way through 65. Your 66 model year was first year for ball joints, amongst a couple other things. If you're, you know, we don't, at least the Volkswagen guy I am, we don't like that ball joint crap. So this kingpin link pin stuff's where it's at. Now, so this is pretty cool. It gives you the shim offset, how many shims to do depending on your measurement. Depending on your offset measurement, it'll tell you how many shims to put on your spindle, both on the inside and on the outside. And gives you one for 60 and earlier Beetles. And then I do believe we got one for, oh, right there at the bottom, 60 and later. So that's obviously the set we will be using here. So what we're gonna do is measure this stuff here and get what we need to get. I'll get the information we need. I'll probably end up writing it down because I'm an idiot and I'll forget in a matter of 20 seconds. So I will start filming again once I get this stuff figured out. That way I can kind of show you guys what I come up with. Also got brand new link pins. And then we got a brand new set of shims. And then brand new O-rings and the retainer clips for the outside that keep all your shims and all that grease and stuff inside your spindles. So anyway, we'll check back here in a minute and let you guys know what the heck I come up with measurement wise. Okay guys, I got my I did this once off camera, that way I can describe this a little quicker. So what I did is put a jack under this lower control arm to get it up into place where it would be lined up with the spindle itself. So what that does, allow these things to tuck in, that way you know you're lined up for the link pins to go through. And got my semi-straight edge thing here. We ain't tuning a piano, so get that flush right on this lower control arm. You want it butted right up against that mating surface there for the spindle. And then you want to take a measuring device that has the fancy, everyone else in the world measuring system, millimetres, and you want to get your measurement. Now, you want to go right up against the edge of this, which this is right at 7 millimeters. So, what you do after you get that measurement, that gives you your offset. So you come on over here 2 years later than 67. And what we got is you go right here to your offset, come right down to 7, and this is going to show you your upper torsion arm, which is this guy here. Shims A coincides with A, B, C, D. So at 7 millimeters, we're going to want 3 shims on the inner, 5 shims on the outer for the top. And then that coincides down here to now your lower arm. So you go to measurement C for 7,
And that's going to be another 3 and another 5. So 3 and 5. So pretty simple, pretty cool. Makes this a lot easier. I always have to use this chart every time I do it. I can never memorize them. I do it often, but not often enough to remember it. So yeah, if you guys ever come across one of these books and you're doing Volkswagens with link pin stuff, it's definitely good to have, because you shim this stuff wrong and you'll get some premature wear. You'll get a lot of what seems like wheel bearing wobble. So you got to make sure to shim these things right. Do it the first time, get it right. And then once we get that far and get this stuff all put together, we'll get the pinch bolt slid through, which I got cleaned up already. Now, something as a Volkswagen nerd, now that I got these all cleaned up, bam, original K-Max bolts. So for you guys that don't know, K-Max is the factory in-house bolt brand for Volkswagens. So it's always neat to have original hardware. I'm big on that. I love using original, especially when it's in that good a shape. So anyway, that's how you shim these spindles up. So now you basically just set your spindles up, get your shims in place on the link pins themselves that coincide with A, B, C, and D, which is your inner outer, like I already stated. So we're going to do that real quick, and we will check back in when I get all that stuff squared away. This thing all shimmed up and got our, oh, here's a set of them here. Got our rubber O-ring rolled on, and then the locking plate. And you can see these little, if you can see these little bumps on the locking plates, if I remember right, they kind of nestle in this little cracked pinch area, if you can get them in there. But now that we got it shimmed up, we are essentially ready to install these bad boys. And then I will show you what we need to do from there. So right now we need to drop the jack down just a little bit. Right there. Perfect. Yep. If you got a rubber mallet, kind of give them some persuasion. Being they don't have any grease on them just yet, which you can always do that first if you'd like, but normally I don't have too much of an issue getting these things to seat up. So it might take a little bit of pressure off here. Do that. All right. Got that in. And we got that in. So now that we got this thing seated, now we can get our jack out of the way. Okay, so you guys see these little flat sections? That's to put a wrench on and get your centric lined up on the inside of there, which actually I think I got that one perfect, believe it or not, to get your pinch bolts through. And then once you do that, you actually tighten those things. So let me get the right wrench, which if I remember right, they're either a 15 or a 17, and we will go from there. So just a second. Okay, hit me like a ton of bricks when I walked over there. I don't know why I remembered, but these are actually 14s. Didn't even have to check. I just randomly remembered, which usually never happens. So let me take a look down through here. Okay, I usually never get it this close, right off rip, but right there. Let's see what we got here. Maybe just a tweak more. Right there. Whoop, we're close. Back just a little bit. Right there. Look at that. Like a glove. So we'll do the same thing down here. not too sure where I'm at on this one. Right there. Come on now. Oh, love it. Okay, so once you get your pinch bolt slid through, get your lock washer and your nut. We'll get these bad boys on. Okay. Now I need to get some tools for these because I've cleaned everything up since I've done this last. Now before you tighten these pinch bolts up, I like to always, which you're supposed to, let's see here, this kind of rolls your camber in or out on top and bottom. So I will always kind of snug these up just a hair, get them even. So I should be ready to tighten these up. So we'll grab some tools here and tighten these up, and we'll be ready to finish this thing up. There we are. Both those pinch bolts are 17 millimeter. Got those nice and tight. So now we are ready to pump some grease in those bad boys. And when we get new tie rod ends, we'll be ready to, which I got those out over there, ready to order new ends. So now we will be able to set the other side up, which is exactly what we just did here, which is no big deal. And then once we get the tie rod ends and the rest of the brake parts, we'll be ready to move on to that portion. So I think I'm going to end this video off here to be able to get one out for you guys, showing off the new tire machine, dismounting the tires for that, and also going over this little quick spindle assembly and setup. So I figured probably not many of you guys on the channel that do Volkswagen stuff. I know there's probably a handful. That's probably good information if you've never done any link pin stuff before. I normally send those off to get done because doing the kingpin link pin, it's not too bad. I got a little small arbor press to do stuff like that, but you got to have the right reamer to ream the bushings, and I don't have that. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for this one. So next video on this car should be a lot more exciting because we'll be painting backing plates, getting all the new brake stuff on, throwing the new wheel bearing races and stuff in, and basically going through this entire brake system. So this is kind of just to get us, you know, I know I've had one video on this car, but kind of be a good introduction to actually working on it, and then we'll really be able to start making some progress here for future videos. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry it's not as entertaining as the last handful of videos, but we're getting going, we're getting back on track, getting caught up, and getting wiring for the barn, so look forward to seeing some of that stuff as well. I know I've been talking about that for a while, but weather's finally coming around here in the Midwest, so we're actually going to be able to work on it. That being said, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. It is free, so doesn't cost you anything. Subscribe does nothing but help out the channel, and drop a comment down if you guys like the video, and we will see you in the next one.